Welcome everybody here to the...
Hello! Hey Toby!
Hi everybody. We might be having some
Oh, is it lagging? Oh,
give us a moment, we'll be right back after these messages. Oh wait, hang on, no.
Hello? What? Oh, is it working now?
Chill out, Durka. Chill out. After a little bit of stuttering. We are live here to broadcast to you guys as we are doing the final games of the European Division qualifiers. It's the lower bracket semi-final and the lower bracket final. So the winner of this will play up against, I say your boys, London Conspiracy.
They're Greek.
Yeah,
which
means they're not actually his boys. But yeah, they'll be playing up against London Conspiracy. Both games going directly after the other, two best of threes. Vega versus BBC though, or Balkan Bears Corleone is what's up now.
The Balkan Bears now.
It's just the Balkan Bears that took out Corleone?
Yep. They've rebranded a little bit. Just a tiny bit.
Why do you have to change my life so much?
So drastically.
I'm not prepared for this level. Now I'm becoming an old stubborn man. I don't like change.
Yeah. Well, they've dropped a couple of players as well. Weehar wants a break from competitive for a while, and then Levy wants to create a new team with some friends. So they've got Hook, Yapso, Exist, and then the Coon and Crit. So they've got some, old standards in the stand-in scene for European Tier 2-ish Dota with the Coon and Crit. We've seen them play for, Hee, old MYM, things like that.
Yep.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad, but they're still going up against Vega Squadron. And Vega Squadron, these guys have been playing together for a lot longer than obviously BBC has. I actually say BB now. I can't say BBC. That's actually just, oh my lord.
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah. So we've got the BB boys.
Oh boy.
10 seconds remaining.
The BB boys.
So
Triple B.
Yeah,
5
but
seconds remaining.
like Vega Squadron, like Mag, Solo, they're probably the two most recognizable names. I know we're also having a debate recently about Pasha.
Now,
and if it's actually Shashlo.
I was told by someone like 3 months ago that it was, but now I'm doubting it.
Yeah, I only doubted it because I was told something very similar at the very start when Pasha first emerged, saying that Pasha was actually a unique name, standalone kind of thing.
Shaker.
Yeah, we asked ourselves the questions as we were going over the rosters before the game began, of just like exactly who is Pasha. So if you do know, if you're tuning in right now, and you know the mysterious identity, actually the only thing we want to know is if it's Shashlo.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing. Like, if it's not Shashlo, then it's just Pasha. And that's perfectly alright. But I like calling him Pasha. It makes
that's his name now.
It reminds me of CSGO Virtus Pro, so it's it makes me feel really good. But Vega Squadron really, in my mind, they're the clear favourites coming into this game. They have been playing a lot more solidly than BB has. And really just the lineup seems to reek of a little bit more coordinated talent.
5 seconds.
What have they got so far? Vega going for a little bit of Aura strat with Chen and Beastmaster. I know you were talking about them a couple of minutes ago, how they've been playing together for quite some time. They really have a polished product. They know exactly what they want. They know where they want to go. I was maybe expecting tiny Wisp from them here, just because Wisp is not banned or touched at all by either of these teams. But I don't know, with Beastmaster and Chen, are you limiting yourself to your early game prowess if you do go for something that's sort of more mid-game oriented? Yeah, they go with the Rubik, so they want to really try and control these lanes early on.
Yeah, I don't feel like you're actually limited, and this is actually something I was thinking over last night when watching the Summit Finals. And I'm just trying to understand the current meta, and a lot of it just came down to aura and pressure. Like, that's, for me, what I kind of felt like was always the dictating, like, reason why you would win. Like, even EG going, obviously it didn't work when they ran out of initiation, but, like, when you got the lineup which can basically stand and move together, I'm not talking like 5-man Dota, I'm talking about effective pushing. And this can be done with 4-1-3-1-5-0, as far as, like, your split. And with the Beastmaster and the Chen, you kind of always know that you can have enough of a force in the lanes that you can push down the buildings and then just have one core behind it, dishing out a lot of the damage. Speaking of damage, that's what you now get from the 4th position. It's also a great thing for Vega, the fact they got the Beastmaster and the Chen when they're on dire side, because they can just slip themselves into Roshan. Dangerous up against the lineup of BB, but if they can get 1 or 2 pickoffs, then it easily opens up Roshan for them.
If Vega do go for this tower pushing, though, they have to like almost fully commit, because there's cooldown to try and slow the retreat. Disruptor, great with the glimpse, and Earthshaker with the fissure. There's lots of ways that Balkan Bears can, disrupt
10
that push,
seconds
or
remaining.
disrupt when Vega want to try and disengage and reinitiate. So it'll be
5
interesting to see what they
seconds
pick up in their
remaining.
next couple of heroes here. They've got decent physical damage, but a lot of what they have is magical right
Reserve
now.
time.
So once Shadow Fiend gets a BKB, which is probably going to be his second item, Beastmaster is going to be looking to just raw someone, get SF onto the front lines, and launch that Requiem down. Because Gyro isn't the tankiest of heroes.
No, he's not. But at the same time, like, is BKB? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Dire
Okay,
team
yeah.
ban.
I was going to debate and say maybe the SF could look to be that initiator and make sure he blows up the Gyrocop, because the concern I always have with teams going up against a Gyro is they get kited. Like, that's my major concern.
Well, Vega has a lot of aggressive sort of engage and
seconds
displacement with
remaining.
Rubik and Beastmaster. They've got the boar to slow him down, which is pretty damn good against him.
5
So Shadow Fiend
seconds
can
remaining.
basically just walk in there. He doesn't need, a Blink or a Yules. Maybe a Shadow Blade this game
Reserve
wouldn't be too
time.
bad. Up against a Disruptor, you go invis, hide yourself away if you get glimpsed back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. Just want to make sure you get a way out of it if things go wrong. Because you attack once, you get one pick off, more than likely you're going to get picked off directly after that. So you need to have the BKB or a Yule Scepter, something that will stop you from getting dragged and tossed around.
Radiant
And you
team
can't
ban.
always rely on someone like Rubik to be there. If Clockwork's going to hook shot on you and lock you inside the cogs, Rubik can throw the Clockwork back, but it's that initial jump and control which will
Dire
probably buy the
team
space
pick.
for Earthshaker with that very long fissure just to jump in and kill off everybody.
It's actually quite interesting, a Clockwork pick against a Chen and a Beastmaster. The
Radiant
fact that
team
there are
pick.
so many little summons and units around, landing that hook shot's going to be pretty difficult.
It will be. In fact, even just a laning phase is going to be almost impossible.
Centaurs and boars and all sorts of nonsense coming his way.
Yeah, like you could technically. I don't know if you want to really run a Beastmaster up against a Clockwork. The Boars can do a hell of a lot, but if Clockwork gets close on the Beastmaster, then it could be real trouble for him. But with a Rubik, a Slaughter, as well as a Chen, up against an Earthshaker, Disruptor,
10
and Gyro,
seconds
I'm not saying you
remaining.
should run an aggro try up against that, especially with, with a Slaughter that's suicide.
5 seconds
It's
remaining.
definitely a Beastmaster off lane. But you got a lot of kill potential here from Vega.
Reserve
When they hit
time.
their timings, they could walk all over BB if they're not careful. But at the same time, BB could be prepared. Their counter initiation, they could punish Vega very heavily.
Do you even consider an aggro try for Balkan Bears? Disruptor, Earthshake, and Gyro. You've got a lot of disable. You've got quite a lot of magical damage output against a Slardar melee unit. Farming the lane isn't going to be too easy. The one worry I have is that Chen. Unless you go and ward his
Yeah.
jungle and keep vision of when he's going to be coming in from the side, you could do well. 3 versus 2, obviously. Rubik and Slardar will probably get crushed by your aggro try, but depending on what creeps Chen get. Oh, hello. That's an Outworld Devourer.
Yeah, and that's gonna take a note of the aggro tri lane, really. When you're running an OD, you're looking to batten down the hatches. If your aggro tri lane goes slightly wrong, the OD is going to be completely behind in his timing. He needs everyone to slowly raise in the levels with him, and then they just focus on overpowering Vega.
You also want the ES and Disruptor to really focus on keeping him alive, because one smoke gang for Rubik and Chen, OD's going to die to a Shadow Fiend once he hits level 3 even.
Yeah, very good point. You use that imprisonment aggressively, and then all of a sudden,
Two heroes pop up from the side, and you're netted.
At least you wouldn't be going up against like a heavy amount of burst damage from the Shadow Fiend, because obviously you take away a large amount of his intelligence with the imprisonment. The SF's not going to have a lot of razors to play around with.
10
At
seconds
the same
remaining.
time, you can always look at it from the other point of view, where the SF just finds physical
5
damage and
seconds
goes that way,
remaining.
and the Rubik and Chen is more than enough control time. So SF still fine the mid lane up against OD. He just has to, I want to see how he prioritizes souls as well as razors. If he looks for the early damage with a higher level up in raise, or if he thinks, it's going to be better for me just to make sure I get my souls in, and then physical damage, I'm still going to have it, doesn't matter what the OD does to me.
I think early stages here are going to be dictated by the supports. The Radiant, they're going to be looking to keep Earthshaker towards the mid lane, while Crit, he can do great up against the Beastmaster off lane, exist, pump out that damage. But if ES goes mid to try and hold that lane down, like you said, batten down the hatches, where does the Rubik go? Because Seema can't leave the Slardar alone 1v1 against Clockwork. Chen won't be a laning dominance until much later on. So.
If the Earthshaker goes up against the SF, I wouldn't have too many concerns about it. Because if the Earthshaker is sitting there, the only concern I'd have is if there's a kill. That's the only problem I would see for Vega. The Ruby can just stay on the top lane, continue to pull, continue to harass the Clockwork out, let the Slaughter farm up. They've got a kill potential with just the two of them there anyway. Let the Chen farm up in the jungle, but also at the same time, the Chen can help prepare for the SF. So it doesn't need to farm up like in the early stages. Sure, you want to farm up all those small little camps nearest the mid lane, but later on, he can just push a little bit further to the left, look to push up the top tier 1 tower, at least try and find kills, and then start roaming with the Rubik. And that's when the SF can just go in and flash farm the jungle. So even that CS, which you might be behind in the early stages because of the presence of the Earthshaker, you'll make back anyway through the dire jungle.
Ping's already coming out, by the way. Earthshaker, let's go and ward up their jungle a little bit. So it looks like Balkan Bears, it's not going to be too surprising to see them just smoke up as... I think smoke up as 4. Keep your Clockwork just to wander off to the top lane, get a ward out there or scout out where the Vega Squadron guys are. But you want to get in, ward at the very least one camp in the center of that jungle just to, that completely disrupts the cycle through.
Yep.
So if you ward up the far right camp, okay, you can switch to the left. But if you ward that middle camp that you're looking at right now, that just swaps out the movement from right to left to middle and really screws with them.
Mm-hmm.
What are we paused for?
We lost SF, we lost no one. So he hadn't actually selected his hero yet, hence we had ourselves a delay. But if you've just joined in, I know we're starting to build up in the viewer numbers right now. Welcome to the MLG TV platform. They are the primary sponsor. In fact, I think they're actually the sponsor of the joiner to MLG Pro League. What we're battling for is a LAN position. We only have 2 more to give away at the moment. I say 1 more, sorry, to give away, and that's to earn, which is going to be hosted at X Games. Huge event. And MLG have themselves a nice little area booked at X Games. So if you are going to be, and I believe we're going to Texas for X Games. So yeah, if you're going to be there, definitely get yourself a ticket. Yeah. So we've got turn up to the event.
We've got Alliance and VP already through. London Conspiracy are down in the lower bracket final, so the winner of this plays them to get that 3rd European spot. Who else was there? Team Malaysia from Southeast Asia, and then the Americas.
Over MVP Hot 6.
Then Americas we're still waiting for.
Yeah, the American, we've still got the lower part of the bracket to go, but Mouse Sports have qualified, even though technically they're 3 Europeans, 2 Americans. They have been they've been living and playing in America.
You should have seen some of the banter in the chats when I was doing those Americas games. Yep,
I was watching, and it's a little bit justified. But the guys, even though they are European and German, there's only one player who's actually playing from Europe, and that was quite fun. And he did that primarily so he could still continue his studies. That was the reason why. But Mouse Sports have qualified, and yeah, we'll have another game. I believe it's on Tuesday night. Yeah, that'll be when we play our lower bracket final. More than likely. It's still yet to be 100% confirmed.
Mass sentries in the jungle, but this observer here from the Dire is kind of unusual.
Yeah, I think initially they wanted to see where BB were going to be looking for first blood or kills. This is actually going to be really bad to have Mag. Okay, Mag did pick up the rune. I thought OD would get the imprisonment off, and that'll buy time for Exist to get in front of him, but he's already let off 2 rocket barrages here. Very, very low on mana. Yeah, but the sentries, like this observer ward, I think they were looking to watch when BB planted down the sentries, or at least have a look, but because BB looped themselves around and came in from behind, yeah, now they're pinging at the position of the ward, but they have to cut a tree to get into there.
Poor Solo. At least he has a Hellbear.
Yeah, well, he managed to de-ward that camp in time, and that's perfectly alright. Once they cut through this tree, he'll get rid of the other one, and the jungle is normal for Chen. So Chen's not going to be feeling too pressured at all. He's got camps to work with, and easy farming time for him. And you're already seeing it on top lane. Everything just stock standard. Don't take any risks for Vega. And you even seen the SF, like he didn't even level up his first point up in race. He's just going for nothing but souls.
Yeah, he knows he's not going to get a quick bottle, which is what you usually see level 1 raises for. You know, you get at least 2 creeps from the first wave, so he skips over that, just going for the souls and try and deal with this OD that way. Brings himself another set of tangos and should be good. I just want to see what the Beastmaster's doing, because throwing the Hawks across and blocking out camps, he's doing a really great job of that.
You might want to keep your eyes on Yap Sword too. The SF can see him. Obviously, we're in daytime, so the daytime vision is quite long.
But here's the thing, he's not missing out on too much. He is a roaming Earthshaker, he can still make it back to stack up large camp and build things up that way, but he's forcing movement from the Chen, who's not being able to farm. He's now wasting time pretty much. So Solo, He could be up top lane looking for a kill on this Clockwork. Seema, they're going for it.
Yeah, pick him up, throw him back into the crush. They don't really have enough damage to finish this unless they can keep the body block going. The Battery Assault's going to make this difficult. But with the Fade Bolt, you need at least another 2 hits from Seema and the Fade Bolt to find that kill. But he cancels off probably something even bigger. He stopped the salve of the Clockwork. And already Clockwork now has to buy a new one, and it's going to waste time for the Courier to head north.
Race to the haste rune at bot lane. Fisher blocks him off, and now Yapzor looking for Mag. A few right clicks in here, just zone him out.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough mana to control up Mag, and if he had Totem Available, he might have enough damage. Okay, I don't know why the Clockwork went back in there. But Slider has now just spilt first blood on the top lane. It really makes no sense. Like you only had yourself 2 tango charges there. There's no reason to go back in.
It's the greedy. I'm nearly level 3. I can just stick around a little bit longer, get that one creep worth of experience, but not finding it. Finding death instead.
He's going to find a hell of a lot more than that if he starts giving levels over to Slider. Like, what's normally a nice thing about Slider when he has to... Oh, hello, little lock in. He's not even battery assaulting this. He doesn't want to. He knows it's just a waste of mana up against the Slider for now. But with the Slider finding levels, now finding space, like, Seema was able to do the pull over the side. That's terrific. Disruptor, looks like he's in trouble on bottom lane. Very, very low. Exists trying to get rid of Mag, but Mag... that'll find the kill. He can summon up a ball right now, which will slow down the gyro enough, or potentially just soak up the rocket barrage, which is actually what it did start to do, but Flight Cannon turns on, and Exist will be able to find the revenge kill.
Earthshaker was there anyways. There was always going to be a Fisher. There was no way Mag would escape from that, but finding a kill on Disruptor there is huge. The fact that Vega so far are behind on farm, they're not doing a great job of last hitting. I think Rubik is the kind of outstanding one there with 8 last hits somehow. But the OD and Gyro are doing a great job on their lanes, and it does come down to the fact that Chen has spent the first couple of minutes basically just dealing with his own jungler.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing a problem for that in Vega. Like, okay, yes, OD is... Oh, wow, I'm being really analytical tonight. I don't know why. I don't know if it suits me yet or not. But like, just looking at the OD and the Gyro, yes, it's great that Gyro is finding farm. That's always a terrific thing. Gyro with no progression is very, very depressing. OD is finding something, but he's not really stopping no one. He's not crushing the lane, which is what you normally are searching for from an OD. This is a very, very passive lane, and a passive lane up against an SF is still a win lane for SF, because we still take into account what's going to happen inside the jungle. Now, the Chen's been in the jungle the entire time farming up. Yes, that's exactly what he's been meant to be focusing on. As the Absol rotating around, heals on bottom lane, great, to try and help kill off the Beastmaster, but Mag still found a kill on one of the supports. So now your Beastmaster is also finding levels. This means Raw's going to come online. And then up on top lane, Tasha being able to find that initial kill over on the Clockwork, spilling the first blood, pulls Clockwork behind, so he's behind with your initiate. So Raw is going to be on the field for Vega, while Hookshot will not. Yeah. Not to mention, the life won't be there for the Clockwork when he initiates in, so he's probably going to die pretty quickly too. But you also fed levels into the Slider. So your level 6 will arrive soon on Slider, which means you've got amplification available. Finding kills is even easier. And also going in for Roshan is earlier onto the list now for Vega.
You've given so much to this Rubik. He's running around 5 minutes in with Arcane Boots. He's got more net worth than the Clockwork. Your 2 supports on the Radiant side, you know, okay, they've been stacking the jungle. You've got some decent sized stacks, but who are these for? The Gyrocopter? Because OD can't really flash farm through them. He has to win his lane, and like you said, he's not crushing completely, but it's something you expect from the Radiant lineup. They win their lanes, but what's the next step? Because they're not natural tower pushers, they want to go in team fight, right?
Yep.
So what if Vega dodges these team fights, 10 minutes in, 10 to 15 minutes in? If they dodge team fights and go and counter push, farm their own jungle?
Actually, have a look at the warning from Solo. He's realizing what's meant to be happening, so he's trying to keep tabs on what's happening with these safe lane supports. The Observer was going to time out, but he puts another one closer towards the mid, so you can watch the rotations as well as the farming patterns of BB. So then you can understand exactly who you can kill. Yapzor might be finding this double damage rune. The Observer's revealing the fact that Mag's here. At the same time, the Hawk's going to see the Earthshake arriving up. So he can summon up the boar. That fissure, well, it does block, but then Mag, they'll glimpse him back into the wall, and this should be a kill. So you're going to be killing off the off-lane Beastmaster. Should be successful. Should be successful.
He's quick.
He's into the trees. He's he's spending the clarity so he can TP out of here. Exists Rocket Barrage. The damage is enough. Only barely enough, while Solo is chasing down after Crypt. The cooldown's going to arrive now for Exist. He hit level 6 with the kill and then gets himself a double kill. Seema's coming in. He's looking for a last little pickup, but he can't get vision on Crit. The vision will come in, and Vega, everything that was going so passively well for them, is thrown completely around by a horrendous fight on bottom lane.
It's one of those situations where it's like dodge fights, like, oh wait, but we can find kills here. We can kill the Gyro or the Earthshaker or something. Just completely throwing bodies into the meat grinder there. But the great thing there was that Exist with the final rocket barrage onto Chen. It didn't hit the 2 creeps to the sides because they had vision from the Thunderstrike, so that was a little bit fortunate. Maybe Chen could have soaked up a bit of that damage and escaped, but Thunderstrike allowing Exist to find that kill.
This is one of those moments where you look for a team to count their losses. You understand that you're going to be losing that fight. You're going to be losing the Beastmaster on the offlane. The Chen coming in. What were you going to get in return? A kill on a Disruptor when you would probably lose 2 of your creeps that you've already managed to find. So your Chen army will get injured. You will probably end up losing the Chen as well for a kill on a Disruptor. It's just not a worthwhile trade at all. It was kind of unfortunate for them as well. I don't know if Exist, because I called it during the middle of the fight, but I wasn't sure about it. If he hit his level 6 because of the kill on the Beastmaster or not. Top lane, it looks like Clockwork's dead. Didn't see this one coming. Pick him up, throw him back.
Oh.
We only just hit the daytime. Now into the call down. At least there was one stomp left behind by one of those centaurs to slow down Exist, but a little bit of miss micro there from Vega.
Unfortunate. The Shadow Fiend is now ahead of the OD though. A little bit in terms of net worth, but it's the levels that matter. He hit those level 4 raises pretty early on. Now he's moving up on top.
Oh,
is this
wow.
when Vega wants to group up?
Oh, BB! Mistakes galore. They've still got the amplification over on Clockwork, but the bigger problem is Exist. He was amplified freshly up and gets picked up and thrown down. Vega bringing 4 players up, including that SF you were talking about, so he can have an assist to his name.
The hook shot into creep wave.
I think there's something going on. Like the stars not in the right line.
But lane crit roared. Fisher does block him off, and now the TP's coming in.
It's not enough damage to kill off Crit. They're going to glimpse him back again into the OD imprisonment. This should be a simple kill.
Should be, but Mag's done this before.
At the same time, we got 2 of his other teammates.
There's a Fisher in a second. Yapso's got it.
Yeah. The Mag's still got some run. He doesn't have enough mana to summon up a Boris. Also on cooldown. It's actually blocked around the corner. And it looks like Hook's just searching for mana. Oh, jump in. Nice crush. Mag, he's got enough life. He actually has to throw out the ulti. He did not want to be throwing out that Eclipse. But the crush was actually got in the space for it. OD didn't have range to attack.
And he's got no orb either. He has not put a single point into that Arcane Orb, so he doesn't have that extra damage output which you kind of expect from an OD. He's gone for the full passive farming build.
Oh!
No.
Yeah!
Nothing on it though.
Oh, yeah! He amplifies the courier so he can do it in 2 hits.
Nice.
And now Hookshot. This one will connect onto no one. With the cooldown, he's just trying to run out. Wait, okay. He was initially running out of the second cooldown. Now that they have Glimpse. Vision on Rubik. No, it's actually been the drop to go down. And then the stolen storm from the Rubik. He needs to actually just throw... Well, actually, no, he just needs to do anything. The cross should be over on the Clockwork. Pasha, there's your fissure block again. Yapso will hold him in here. Gem, he's got a level 2 nuke, but he cannot reach down, but Rubik can. And he'll reach him with a level 4 Fade Bolt.
And there's a regen rune at bot. No one of worth is going to go and get that. Would have been nice, you know, for the Slaughter or the Gyrocopter.
It's kind of... Just,
yeah,
sorry.
Static Storms.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. What were the 2 abilities that were used during that team fight? Static Storm and Static Storm.
Now, there was a patch released today, Toby. Mech cooldown from, was it 45 to 65 seconds, I believe. It was nerfed pretty heavily. But OD's still going for it. Still going for that old school mech build on this OD.
It's kind of funny because the old reason why you'd go for the mech on OD was because Buckler would actually trigger your Essence Aura.
Yep.
Like, that was actually one of the coolest things about it. I think that was also back when Tranquils could also be triggered.
Oh man, there was you could use observe boards and sentries to trigger it. There were so many little glitches with that.
Yeah.
I think you could even tread switch at one point, but they fixed all of that.
But if he's buying a mech this time around, what are we actually looking for from OD? Like, it's not 4-star, it's not ganking. Is this meant to be BB pushing buildings or forcing 5-man fights?
Yeah, it's going to be forcing 5-man fights. That's what I sort of looked at 5 minutes in. What does Balkan Bears do to actually win this game? What is their win condition? It's got to be fight 5 versus 5 and crush Vega. Whereas Vega is pretty obvious. They're the ones that are going to be grouping up and pressuring into towers. Balkan Bears have decent catch. You know, clock, hook shot, call down, Fisher. They've got a lot of abilities to lock down multiple targets. And now they're going to try it.
Yep, nice hook shot. Really good hook shot from the Clockwork. Locking in Seema as well as Solo. Then they go into that Disruptor ultimate. And it will be a 2-for-2 trade-off at the moment. As no one was brought out of the fight, but his Ray's going to finish off Hook. That's really big for the SF. He just sat in the higher ground. Now Blink into Crunch with the amplification. Is there another raise? You bet your Nelly there is. And that's going to be the death of Clockwork on the top. A triple kill for no one. And Pasha, he doesn't have sprint available. He won't be able to reach wrap. Oh, he actually can. But he can't see him around the tree line, and diving underneath the tier 2 tower makes no sense.
Like, regardless of the triple kill on no one there, he won them that fight single-handedly. Double raises down the cliff into the Gyrocopter who was running up to try and team fight, then the Requiem from Fog. That reduced all their damage output, slowed them down, and made sure that, you know, Pasha could jump in with a nice crush. Gyrocopter dropped to about 200 HP, and you could see him sort of twitching up on that ramp. Do I go in? Do I run? Do I go in? And he couldn't make his mind up just because he lost so much HP from that Shadow Fiend.
Looking towards the middle lane. You got a haste rune over on Pasha at the moment. He's going to want to have a crack here at the Gyrocopter. He was just waiting for more support to arrive, and that's who it's going to be. It's going to be Mag to come in. The Hawk's watching the extra TP arriving from Clockwork. Pasha was taking damage, and in fact, yeah, there goes your Hawk with the rocket.
Hasted Slaughter. Where are you going?
He's lost it now. He held onto it for a pretty long time.
Another nerf. 10 seconds reduction on that haste. They've nerfed S4 in his runes.
S4's not enough. He gets whatever rune he wants. That's what makes it the S4 rune.
But the other day he got 3 haste runes in a, well, pretty much in a row. And then the summit. It was ridiculous. It's his rune.
Watching Blitz's team play through the TI qualifiers. The amount of times where I saw a double damage rune. Oh, just pick it up, like, and then a haste rune would appear directly after. It's just like,
oh
yeah,
that's nice.
Okay, wonderful. Smoke time from BB. Hookshot is available, and they're looking for a hookshot into no one. It's a level 1 hookshot, so the range is absolutely fantastic, and they're missing vision.
And
like, the Hawk is up, and yeah, no one's waiting for it. He can see him coming. Big fissure. That's a huge fissure, because they'll let him go into this static storm, while Rubik picking up and throwing back the Clockwork into a 4-man crush. What was stolen? It was only the Totem Stomp, but it's still going to be enough to get a double kill over here on Mag. No one was able to channel his ulti, using the Yusuf to evade post the static storm, and then the chase at the glimpse, pulling him back, but the Urn charge is still ticking him down at 36, and in they come again. 1 bash from the Slaughter into the amplification over on Crit. He's taking too much damage, 4-1 charges available. The Crush will allow him to get the kill and stay alive. And then they'll move into the tier 1 tower on mid, easily taking it.
Devastating for Balkan Bears. They looked for the kill, but no one, he didn't even need to use Yules. He just doesn't die. A little bit unfortunate that Cogs didn't push him down the cliff. He nearly clipped over, and that would have, you know, allowed them to kill him. But the fact that he's standing there is so tanky, just with, what, Treads and Wraithband? Magic Wand as well, okay, a little more HP from there.
No one? What are you doing, son?
He's dying.
Oh, he's almost dead. Like, if he's not careful, Roshan's going to come up and kill him. Because there's enough units there that's going to...
Clockwork rocket.
Oh, it's so low! Of course they're going to scout Roshan!
Well, that's the second... Like, the rocket already hit him the first time. And then Clockwork's like, hey, look, they're in the Roche pit. Let's send another rocket.
And the initiation on Roshan was to use a Shadow Race. And they arrived there without the amplification, without the Slaughter tank. There were no volatile charges in the SF. There was no way that was going to go well for them.
He was waiting for the urn, and Seema did put it on him. You know, it was close, but level 4 rocket, maybe you're not expecting that. Maybe you're thinking, okay, level 2, level 3 rocket, something along those lines. It's not going to kill me, but...
There it goes.
It did. It did. Pasha, hiding in the trees, waiting for the blink forward. Oh, he's invis as well.
Yeah, he's actually got the invis. I was looking at that, I'm like wondering if this is really going to work. They just want this OD dead. Clockwork's going to hookshot in, but they pick up the OD. He's really got nothing to play around with here, apart from one quick imprisonment, and this is just trying to take the Beastmaster out of play so he can't roar directly in, but they just go for the Clockwork instead, and this will allow Vega to double up. So while you might have had a little bit of a debacle at the Roche pit, this time it's going to work. You take off 2 cores from BB, and then move in for the Aegis.
What's the net worth of Chen right now? Nearly 4k. He is barely behind the OD. They're both getting their mechs at the same time. Pretty much the only difference is what the Bottle and Null over on the OD rather than the Chen's Arcane Boots and mech. So Vega's actual fighting power is just getting amplified further and further by the optimizations they've got. Beastmaster with Necro 1, and after this Roach kill, Necro 2's done.
I think it also shows you too just how effective Vega have been across this map. Like, they're going to continue on with the fights right now. Crit, oh, he's really lucky that no one sees where he is. Gyrocopter and Pasha playing around, just wait out the first rocket barrage, run away from the cooldown because he had the end of the haste break.
And then run back in.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the greatest thing, but he's got the amplification on the Slardar, so they keep the vision on him at least, and they'll see the fact the Clockwork's coming in. With the Beastmaster Hawk up, they also see Crit. Not worth committing, in fact they cannot commit the Raw, because it's not available for Mag. You'll set her up from the SF, then into the Crush. Very simple kills from Vega. The rotations will be good, they're finding kills, but the fact that you have a difference of almost 10,000 net worth, when there's only a 2-tower advantage going the way of Vega, and now 6 kills, it really shows that Chen's been doing a lot more inside the jungle, and the effectiveness as far as CS on the lanes seems to be so much more the way of Vega too.
Yes.
Even the Rubik has 31 CS, and he's the lowest on Vega.
Yeah. As soon as Vega started grouping up, Balkan has tried to counteract it, but they haven't really synergized that well with their abilities. You know, they've had a good hook shot, but limited follow-up. The cooldown, okay, it lands on a couple of people. But Vega have been so good at disengaging, and then, I'm going to say Pasha, you know, he runs out, blinks back in multiple times in a team fight.
Yep. He's going to do it again soon. There's no reason not to go high ground. You got a huge army from Chen. Probably not great to run him into the cogs, but still, you got a huge army from Chen, you got the Boars behind, you got the level 2 Necro units, which are also up now from Mag. So he had that flown in, just taking out the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Yeah, that's the biggest item. He's going to smoke up inside of his own base, so he can walk out. He's also got to exist in the middle of this smoke, but who are they going to get? No one's got the Aegis anymore. The hook shot's completely off target here from the Clockwork, and you got Hook being controlled. Pasha missing the initiation timing. Now this is the best time to go, but who are you going to get the damage on? Like, okay, it's there, but you haven't killed off anyone. No one gets his ultimate off, and then into that Disruptor ultimate. Well, it's going to do some work, but it's not really enough. The OD's about to die. There's 3 on the sidelines, a double crush from Pasha. The SS back to World of Living. Crit's even being pushed back out right now by Seema, who stole the cogs, and this, I almost feel, is GG. You're taking out the bottom ranks. If it wasn't for the tier 2 tower, like, that's the only reason why BB won't call this.
You've got BKB done on the Shadow Fiend, on its way on the Courier. You've got Necro 3 if Mag wants it, ready and finished up. What's Solo building into next? You know, 2,500 gold, a full Vlad's just done.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when that mech
anything which helps you end. Like,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
all you're searching for.
Like when that mech was picked up, it's just, okay, well, they can group up as 5, go and take tier 2s, maybe a tier 3, but winning team fights as well. This Vlad's, the minus armor, the additional armor they get, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, level 4 Presence of the Dark Lord, amplified damage, the Beastmaster with his inner beast, there's just so much right-click damage and magical nuke coming out of Vega.
The only downside for Vega is that ESF bought his BKB directly after fight and flew the courier out, so they're having to wait for the Vladimirs to arrive, which might be the reason why ESF's still sitting over inside the jungle farming and not fully ready to initiate.
So you look at the BKB on the Gyrocopter that he's building up into, how useful is that going to be? It stops telekinesis and the crush, but he's still going to get ripped to shreds with his 1200 HP by the minus armor and right clicks.
Uh-huh.
It's all down to Yapzor. Earthshaker, come on.
Well, he's got no Echo Slam. It's on cooldown for 55 seconds. His control factor is nice, but in the meantime, Vega won't really care. Like, you should see what they're doing at the moment. They're running up north. So they're gonna play this very systematic. Like, you're already ahead. Get the last bit of money. If you take out the like a tier 1 and tier 2 tower outside the base right now, it's almost enough money for Slardar to finish up his own BKB. With a level 3 Necro books from the Beastmaster, potentially his Blink Dagger as well, to be that jump initiator. The Rubik's got everything he wants, so does the Chen. And the SF can almost start building into a luxury item. He's got 2.1k gold on this SF with the BKB Yule Scepter. He could buy his own Blink Dagger if he wants to, and in fact, with the walking back he's doing right now, it looks to be exactly what he's doing.
You don't really need more damage, you don't need more survivability, you know, Butterfly, Daedalus, Lifesteal would be nice, but that's looking too far, I think. You know, you're looking 5-10 minutes into the future thinking, if we start losing here, maybe I need this item, but he's going for the end, you know, he's going for the jugular right now.
Yep. This, like, Vega don't want this game to delay out. Remember, it could also be a long night for them. Like, this is 2 best of 3s you got to get through to qualify for X Games. London Conspiracy had the advantage of playing their game last night, so they might be feeling a little bit more fresh today. At the same time, I think Vega needed this game. Like, there are a couple of couple of things that were not going 100% right. Oh, crit. The jump in with a crush, the fade bolts, and now in comes no one, winds up the ulti with a BKB, he just explodes!
No
the
buyback.
OD and the Disrupt is going to drop, and up they come for the tier 3 tower. Hook shot, off target, and Slaughter actually just crushes in. I think it's over now, Durka. I think it's over now.
No buyback and OD on the clockwork. Maybe Yapso. No, they called. I was going to say, Yapso, you're going to go Blink now. Get in there with the Echo Slam. Catches 2, but the GG's already called. Go for one last hurrah in this game 1.
I think Vega's going to be very happy. They would have brushed off a little bit of the dust that was there here in game number 1, and they'll come in pretty solidly in game number 2. Well, I know we're expecting Vega to play a lot better than BB tonight, but I was expecting that type of Dota. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we get in game number 2. We'll have ourselves a short break. So grab yourself a beverage, everyone, and we'll come straight back here for game number 2 of this lower bracket semi-final.